I would talk about Star Tours. This is a tour that I went on 2 years ago. And when I actually was trying to look for, people that have reviewed this and people that have actually gone on the tour, I found nothing. Nothing. There was nothing online at all. Some of my family from America and other places across the world, they'd gone on Taj tours, and we decided to go through Star Tours. So Star Tours have an office in Wembley, and this is where the main pickup point is from. And when we were, I'll talk about booking it all first actually. So when we were booking it, it was very, very simple. We did it online. There were no problems whatsoever. If you have any problems, I'm sure you could call them. I'm not sponsored by Star Tours to say anything that I'm going to say. This is my own personal experience, and if this could help anyone that is just contemplating whether to go or not, then this is just my experience. So it was very easy to book, and then in terms of like the pickup and everything like that, it was me and my mum that actually went. So the pickup was very, very simple. They have pickup points everywhere. You go to that pickup point, and then from that pickup point they'll take you to Wembley, and then from there you get straight onto the bus. And then the thing about that was that there are no breaks in between, so we had to travel like 2 hours just to get to Wembley. There are no like bathrooms or anything like that there, and then you just get straight onto the bus. Aside from that, I wish they had like a little place where you could just kind of refresh yourself, and there was nothing like that. So you get onto that particular coach, you go to Dover, get on the ferry, and you go to Calais. And then from there, they'll take you to your first location. Now, I did the 12 days European Delights Without Disney tour. And then when we got to Germany, we actually did like a photo stop in Heidelberg. I think it's called Heidelberg in Germany. I have to say, all of the photo stops and all of the places that we visited were beautiful. There was many opportunities to either buy things or to take photographs along the way, and I think that was just a really fun experience. Also, the food was always time to time. Everything was just really well organized. The tour managers were also fantastic as well. So once we'd actually done the first day, we then actually joined up with the people that were doing the 14 days tour, because they had two extra like stops, which were, I think, in the Netherlands, which was Amsterdam and Brussels. And so once they'd done that, they met up with us in Germany, and then we would finish the tour together. When we were actually going on the bus, we were on there with like a mixed group of people. Some people were doing like a 6-day tour, I think it was, or a shorter like 3-day tour. I could be wrong, but we were on there with a mixed group of people who were doing different tours. And so once we had all got together on the second day, we were pretty much together for the entire duration of the journey. Everyone was really lovely. Obviously, there's a lot of Indian people, because this is more like an Indian type of tour, and all the food is Indian. Majority of the people are Indian, pretty much everybody except for the coach driver, but it was a super fun experience. We met a lot of people, really, really nice people, and it was a nice way to share our experiences together. If you're traveling to do this trip by yourself, I would say that sometimes it might get a bit lonely, and it just depends on your own experience. But personally, I wouldn't do a tour like this by myself. I don't think my mum would either, because it's just nice to be able to share this experience with someone else. And I think, sometimes people do sort of stick in their own groups. So that's one thing that I would say. But aside from that, everyone was really lovely, and we had a fantastic tour guide, fantastic drivers as well to go on. So yeah, we did, obviously I talked about Germany. We went to the Heidelberg Castle shop, we went to Black Forest, they even gave us Black Forest cake as well. We went to a cuckoo clock demonstration where you could also pick up and purchase a cuckoo clock if you wanted to, and then we went to Switzerland. I would definitely suggest taking and dressing for the weather. Just check what the weather's going to be like. I think that's pretty important, because in Switzerland it does get cold when you go to the mountains. And yeah, everything was just Really, really nice. Again, there was in Switzerland you had the opportunity to kind of go shopping as well in your own time, and if there are certain things that you don't want to do on the tour, like you don't want to visit a certain place, maybe because you've been there before or you just don't want to, there is the opportunity of doing something by yourself separately within that time that everyone else is going to be doing the thing that's on the itinerary. So then we also went to Liechtenstein and Austria, and again that was great. We went to the Swarovski Museum and we could buy stuff. There were lots of photo stops as well. Then we went to Italy, and this is probably the part that surprised me the most. We were going to do a gondola ride, but because we went in summer, there was just so much traffic on the roads, we almost missed the gondola ride. But luckily, you know, the restaurant, they were super accommodating to the fact that we were there late, and we were able to do the gondola ride as well, and everything just worked out really nicely. If you're going during like a certain time where the weather might be really unpredictable or anything like that, definitely make sure, you know, that you understand that maybe you might not be able to do certain things if the weather is a bit like ugh. So yeah, Florence was beautiful, Pisa, Rome, again, so many opportunities to just stop for a couple of hours, to have ice cream, to shop around, and just really be a part of the place that you're visiting. I would highly suggest, especially in Europe, to take coins because you have to pay to use the bathroom. So that's just a tip right there. Aside from that, we also went to the Vatican. That was fantastic, seeing the inside of it, and also then the last stop was France. So we actually covered a lot in 12 days, like a lot. And it didn't feel rushed at all. It didn't feel like, you know what, you've only got like 15 minutes here, you've got to rush back. Obviously you have a set amount of time. Some places you'll get more time, some places less time. But it was super, you know, it was super relaxed. Obviously it is quite on the go, but for me I felt it was really relaxed, and I was able to deal with it. If you are slightly older, I know that some people did struggle with maybe walking around a lot or constantly having to get up the steps in the bus and continually leave. You know, things like that maybe could matter. That again, there were no children on there was actually just one girl that was on our trip with us, because I went during like the end of the holidays in summer, so a lot of kids would have to go back to school. But if that's something you're worried about, maybe go during like term time. So France, again, France was a really nice experience. We got to go to the Eiffel Tower, the Versailles Gardens, we had plenty of time. We went to a perfumery, which was really lovely, and also the Louvre. You have the option of going into the Louvre and seeing the Mona Lisa if you want to, but you do have to pay for some of the things by yourself. A lot of the things that you do are included. And yeah, you know, the only thing I would say is we didn't get a night tour of Rome because there were a few people in our group that didn't want one, and that affected what everybody else wanted, so that was really frustrating. But apart from that, everything else was just fantastic. We got a night tour of Paris because everyone wanted that one but not the one of Rome. But yeah, it was very nice, and I would just I highly recommend it. Now obviously there's a bit of problem right now in Europe in terms of the fact that there's just so much happening, you know, terrorist attacks and people trying to get, you know, migrants trying to get onto like the boats and lorries that are crossing from Dover to Calais and in and out and all of that. There's so much happening, so I would just check with Star Tours and check with other various places to just make sure that you're okay to travel. I went 2 years ago, there was no problem whatsoever. They did check the coach and they did make us all get out and present our passports, but apart from that there was no problem. Again, you get all of your dinners, you get all of your lunches, all of your breakfast, time to time, and it was just a fantastic experience. I honestly couldn't recommend it anymore, because if you try to do all of these things at your own expense, it would cost so much more. The price we paid, we got so much for it, and I would highly recommend it because you are doing a tour. Obviously it makes it cheaper for them, so yeah, thumbs up to Star Tours. I had a fantastic time couldn't recommend it enough, and I hope to hopefully go on some more of the tours. I've heard Taj Tours is very, very similar, and they do have a very similar itinerary, so if you live like in the US or something like that, do check it out, have a look at the websites. Everywhere we went there was a huge variety of food, which I think was, you know, really nice. Meat and also vegetarian options along the way. A lot of Indian food, obviously, as you can imagine. So if you're Indian and you're concerned that there might not be Indian food, there is. And also if you want to experience some more of like the local delicacies, you can as well, like pizza. We got some of that in Italy. You can also buy your own food as well if you want to, like you can buy ice cream if you want some of that and you're near an ice cream place. And so the food is really, really good. There's a lot of variety as well. The one thing I would say is that it is quite spicy. That's a problem that I had because I've been living in the UK and I have been kind of living on bland food for a while. But aside from that, everything was really nice. We made so many new friends, and especially my mum did as well. I was actually the only like teenager on that trip. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!